All right. So my name is Justin Smith. I'm a first year teacher at the Floyd County School of Innovation here in Floyd County. And my grant proposal project was titled Mountains of Produce. It is a raised bed gardening project that I hope to start here at the school and carry on throughout the future. So my inspiration for the project, I really wanted to think of something that I could give the students more of a hands-on learning feel. And so definitely throughout this raised bed gardening project, we'll be able to have plenty of hands-on learning opportunities for our students that they can directly tie back to our classroom instruction component of agricultural education. Also, food deserts. Many communities in Eastern Kentucky can be classified as a food desert because you have to drive so many miles to get to a grocery store or to find fresh produce. Of course, new local farmers markets are helping with that, but teaching these students how to grow their own food using raised bed gardens is a really functional way and a cheaper option than having a huge garden. And you can do a raised bed garden right in your backyard or even sometimes like on your porch. I also wanted to give our students a sense of ownership and pride in a project that they complete. And what better way to do this than have them grow their own food and get to see this project kind of flourish over time. The purpose for the project, I also wanted to work through teaching a work ethic along with our standards. So obviously, as teachers, we're working to make sure our students are on track with their standards. And sometimes work ethic can be a hard thing to teach students, especially in today's world. And gardening really takes a lot of patience, hard work, and dedication to get through it. And so through this, I'm hoping my students will be able to gain some work ethic and also progress through their standards in agricultural education. Again, provide hands-on learning. That's one of the three components of agricultural education, being classroom instruction and with the hands-on learning. Students really like to be engaged in the classroom, and my goal is to create an engaging environment for my students to learn and grow in, and this will be perfect for them. Some skills that will benefit students later in life, gardening, especially growing your own food. You can't beat a fresh garden, vegetable of any kind. And so definitely this will benefit them in the future. They can take this on their own, start their own garden, or continue working in the gardens here at school if they are an underclassman. So how the money will be spent. I plan to use the grant money that we've got to purchase materials for the raised bed garden. I would like to purchase one that's kind of prefabricated. As we are a first year agriculture program, we don't have a ton of means of actually buying lumber and building our own. Plus, wooden raised bed gardens kind of break down pretty fast. Typically, the life on those is around 10, 12-ish years. So if we get one that's galvanized steel or something, it'll be super easy to move if we need to move it around the school grounds from time to time. And definitely super easy to put together, but still give students the sense of they built this because it will, come in pieces. So we'll have to navigate that. I'd like to buy some beginning gardening tools. We've got shovels and a couple of different rakes here, but some smaller hand tools would be good for a raised bed garden. You don't really want to get in there with a huge shovel, start to beat and bang around on galvanized steel if we get that type of garden there. So some beginning gardening tools would be nice. Seeds, soil, and fertilizer, kind of the three main starter things we will need for this garden. Students will be creating a plan, which I'll get to in a minute. So they will decide what crops we're going to grow along with guidance from me. So we'll purchase seeds for that. We'll also purchase raised bed soil from a local store, and then fertilizer to help those plants get started on the right track. And then lastly, I'll spend some money on a water hose and a spray nozzle, just to make sure we have one that will reach all the way to the raised bed gardens, which will be in the back of the school in that location. So want to make sure we have a spray nozzle also so we can get a nice shower setting. That way we're not spraying water harshly on the plants that will knock them down or hurt them in any way. How I plan to assess student learning outcomes. I plan to assess them through their active participation first in the class, with our work in the garden, making sure that all students are engaged and have an active role outside is important for keeping them engaged and as well as monitoring behavior. If they don't have a job outside, then they're more likely to get into some type of trouble. And so everyone will have a role when we're outside with each class I take out there, and they'll have a specific duty to make sure that they are on track. Students will also be creating the plan, like I said previously, for the raised bed garden. It'll be their job to kind of plan out what we're going to plant, where we're going to plant it, and make sure and research when we need to plant that. So next up, they'll be marketing and selling vegetables at farmers market or back to the school cafeteria. We are hopeful to get a container farm from App Harvest, and so therefore we were working to try and start farm to table type of program with our cafeterias. And so once we get that up and running, we may sell these vegetables back to the school, or if that's not an option, then we will take these to local farmers market and have students come out and sell those too. Part of the marketing would be on social media, sharing posts, creating a post, kind of working it like you're in charge of a local business. How would you spread the word on your product, which will be super useful because many of our students are in different pathways that are already working on some entrepreneurial skills. And so marketing a product is definitely something that is cross-compatible with other pathways as well. And then lastly, instead of having a standardized test or something that they would take, I plan to do a reflection on the project, have them reflect on how it went, what they would change, what they thought they did well, kind of switch it up a little bit. I think sometimes we get too caught up on, well, we need to test them to see what they know. And so I think a reflection will be a nice change. And it still gives you a sense of what did they learn and what do they think they could have gone better. And I'll be able to use that in the future with other groups that do this project as well, or continue on just with the gardens we have.